Okay guys, so I didn't really know how to start this video, so first of all, Facecam's back right here. I'm looking at me, I'm looking at you, I'm looking at me, I'm looking at you. Welcome to the 2018 Zerker full guide. I'm talking min-maxing, accessories, which accessories to have with priests, which accessories to have with mystic, everything. We're going to go over everything today. The first thing we're going to talk about is Zerker rotation, because all the rotations that you're going to find out there right now that you're going to be able to look at that were from about 2 years ago, maybe even 2 months ago, are just the standard basic rotations. They're not really the advanced rotation that you want to be using. So the first thing I'm going to do is teach you how to do the full rotation in general. So the first thing you're always going to want to start off with is always going to be Thunderstrike. So you're going to hit him with a Thunderstrike. That's the first thing you're always going to start off with. So Thunderstrike, animation cancel, into Cyclone, right? And then Thunderstrike. Now here's where it gets different. All the guides that you see will say go Thunderstrike into Vampiric, directly into Raise, into Flatten. But we're going to switch it up, because this rotation, I found out, somebody told me, is a lot better and allows you to up that DPS even a little more. So we're going to go Thunderstrike, Vampiric, animation cancel, mocking, Raise, Flatten. So I'm going to show you that again in about 30 seconds or so. Okay, so like I said, it's a little different from the standard basic rotation that people are going to show you in the videos that are out right now. You're going to want to go Flatten, Vampiric, animation cancel. Okay guys, I'm in the editing process of the 2018 full Zerker guide, and I realized that I had made a mistake in my speech when I said this. Flatten, Vampiric, animation cancel, mocking, Raise, Flatten. So I didn't mean Flatten Vampiric. I actually meant Thunderstrike Vampiric, animation cancel, mocking, Raise, Flatten. Do not do Flatten into Vampiric ever in your life as a Zerker, because holy shit will you pay for it in DPS, and you just really don't want that. So bad. Bad me here, bad me there. Bad. No. Thunderstrike Vampiric, guys. Thunderstrike Vampiric. Okay, I'll let you get back to past me. Peace out, guys. Mocking, Raise, Flatten. Because what happens when you do mocking is that Raise actually animation cancels the mocking shout. So I'm going to show it to you again. So bam, bam. So that's what you're going to want to do. Instead of the regular just go from Vampiric, Raise, Flatten, you're going to go Thunderstrike, Vampiric blow, animation cancel, mocking shout. And then you're going to want to go Raise, Flatten. No animation cancel between the mocking shout and the Raise into Flatten. Okay? And now the second rotation of this, you're going to be really utilizing tackle and overwhelm and sweeping strike. Usually you don't have to really use sweeping strike, because usually tackle and overwhelm are usually off cooldown by the time you get to them again. So what we're going to do is, let's say after you use mocking shout, let's get rid of mocking shout. Boom. So mocking shout is gone. Now you're going to go back to the basic rotation that you had thought that it previously was good before. So we're going to go back to Thunderstrike, Vampiric, Raise, Flatten, tackle. And then you're going to want to go in between that and overwhelm. So every time mocking shout is off cooldown, you either do tackle, overwhelm, or sweeping strike. Okay? So this is what the full rotation is going to look like with Fiery Rage on. I'm going to show you with Fiery Rage on so it's a little quicker so you get the gist of what it's supposed to look like. So here we go. So Thunderstrike, Cyclone, Thunderstrike, Vampiric, mocking shout, Raise, Flatten, Thunderstrike, Cyclone, Thunderstrike, Vampiric, Raise, Flatten, tackle. So that's what the entire rotation is going to look like overall. So that's the rotation you guys want to be doing in dungeons. It's the most efficient. It's the best way to put out damage constantly, because if you're not putting out damage constantly as a Zerker, then you're not doing damage at all. Just like if we're not critting, we're not doing damage at all. Okay? So the next thing we're going to go over is actually the Glyph build. I had messed some things up previously with the Glyph build that someone had mentioned to me and pointed out to me earlier. So the first thing we're going to start with the Glyph build. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start off with the Glyph build is the Thunderstrike. You're going to want Carving Thunderstrike, which is going to double the chance to crit. And then you are also going to want Hasten Thunderstrike, which is going to speed the charging by 25%. And last but not least, the Slick Thunderstrike, which is going to eliminate slowed movement restriction. Those are mandatory, absolutely mandatory. And then you're going to want to switch to Flatten here, and you're going to want to go Hasten Flatten to speed the casting of it by 25%. And then you're going to want to go Empowered Flatten, which is going to increase the skill damage by 25%. Okay, now we're going to skip down here to Blazing Mocking Shout, because you're going to want it to speed the charging of Cyclone by 30%. Then you're going to come down here to Fiery Rage. Now, the most common thing that people do and make a mistake about when doing Fiery Rage and glyphing it is they usually go for the power glyph. First, I had that too, but then someone told me the damage that you can output from just having like the Mocking Shout glyph and stuff is way more beneficial than, because that's only a 10% chance. That's not always going to proc. So you're just going to want the Lingering Fire Rage, which is going to increase the duration of Flurry of Blows effect by 30%. And then we're going to come over here to Cyclone. Cyclone, you're going to want increased additional overcharging damage by 24%, which is Empowered Cyclone. You're going to want Hasten Cyclone, which is going to speed the charging of Cyclone by 25%. And then you're going to want Carving Cyclone, which is going to double the chance to crit. And then we're going to skip over here to Vampiric Blow. You're just going to want to increase the skill damage by 25%, which is going to be Empowered Vampiric Blow. And then we're going to go down here to Evasive Smash, which you're just going to have the Carving Evasive Smash, which is going to double the chance to crit, and the increased damage by 25%. You're not going to want the cooldown because when you use it, you want to be able to crit every single time, and you want to crit hard. You never want to not crit on Evasive Smash because it will suck. And then you're going to go into Raise. We're going to go to Raise here, and you're going to put speed charging of Thunderstrike by 25%. So when you hit that Raise Flatten, immediately going into the Thunderstrike, you're going to be charging it 25% faster for a few seconds. And then you're going to want to have the decreased cooldown by 25%, the Energetic Raise. And then you're going to want the speeds casting by 25%, which is the Hastened Raise. So that right there is the full PvE glyph setup that you guys are gonna want to have entirely. We're going to switch to the PvP setup. So the PvP setup is going to have, I specifically put MP on Successful Block, because during PvP, if you don't have a healer around, like a priest, then you're not going to get MP, because you run out of MP really quick, because you're always popping all these buffs. So I'm going to go through this one quick. You're going to want Carving Thunderstrike, Sanative Thunderstrike, Hasten Thunderstrike, and Slick Thunderstrike. We're going to come over here to Flatten. You're not going to want the damage, because you're just using Flatten as a knockdown skill and not so much a damage skill. So you're going to want to go to Speeds Casting by 25%, and then we're going to go to Mocking, which you're only going to want the speeds charging of Cyclone by 30%. In PvP, Cyclone actually staggers enemies. When one of your teammates has stunned somebody, you do not want to knock them down because that immediately cancels the stun. So you're going to want to use Cyclone. Or Evasive Smash. Evasive Smash works too. So then we're going to go into Pumped Fiery Rage. Now this one's not good in PvE, but if it procs during PvP, it's really good because it's all about power in PvP. And then you're going to want to have the increased effect durations. You're going to want Speed Casting of Cyclone, obviously. A cooldown on Retaliate, because you want to get up as fast as possible when you get knocked down. And you're going to come to Tenacity. You're going to want the decreased cooldown by 20% for Tenacity. Doubles balance for 15 seconds. Increases endurance by 16 for 12 seconds. And it recovers 12% of your HP. And then you're going to come down here to Evasive. You're going to want the same thing you had for PvE. You're going to want the double the chance to crit, and the Empowered Evasive Smash increases the skill damage by 25%. So that's going to be all of the glyph builds that you need. If you guys want me to do like a separate tanking video, right now Zerkers aren't really the most viable tanks because we don't have the Enrage skill or an auto block. So the next thing we're going to go over is we're going to go over accessories. So the first thing you're going to want when you're with a priest is all Carving accessories. You're going to want endurance by 4 and HP by 4% on each earring. You're going to want all Keen Virsks. You want power by 4 and crit factor by 4 on both rings. And you're going to want all Keen Etchings on all of your accessories, because the more you crit, the better it is. So that's going to be it for that. What you're going to want for PvE crystals: a Focused, a Pounding, a Savage, and a Bitter. And then you're just going to want all Parties on your chest piece. What you're going to want on your weapon, what you want on your weapon and your gloves is crit etchings, preferably 4s, but if you can get 3s from IODs and stuff, that's fine too. If you're going full PvP, go Energetic 4 or 3s on your gloves and weapons for the attack speed and cooldowns. Then you're going to want Endurance 3 or 4s on your chest piece and your boots. And then you're going to want crit inners. Now, I have a power brooch. It doesn't really matter once you get to Quattrofoil because it has both power and crit, but you want to mainly have crit. So the next thing we're going to go over is Mystic. You're just, Mystic is a little different. You're just going to want the 2 pump daylight earrings with pumped etchings. That's it. And then you're just going to want the same thing as you did with the PVE earrings. You're going to want the endurance by 4 and the max HP by 4%. We're going to go over to PvP. You're going to want all 4 pristine griefings, and then you're going to want carving daylight earrings. Then you're going to want pumped necklace and 2 pumped rings, pumped 1 to 2 etchings on them minimum. What's up, guys? I forgot to mention a couple of things. This is the next day after I recorded the original part of the video, and I just forgot 2 things that I forgot to go over because I was in a rush to get to work, so I'm going to go over them right now in detail. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the PvP crystals, because I forgot to do that while I was going over the PvP. So what you're going to want for PvP crystals is you're going to want a carving Neviate, so you can really have that chance of critting. Then you want that cruel Neviate to gain crit power on a knockdown opponents. Relentless Savage Neviate, because you're going to want to increase your crit power again. And then you're going to want a Salivating Neviate. The next is going to be 3 Relentless, which is going to give you HP from 5 to 6. If it's a diet, it's going to give you about 6.3k. If it's not a diet, it's going to give you about 5.4k. And then you're going to want another MP while attacking players. A griefing Neviate. And that's just gonna about do it for the crystals. Now we're gonna move on to the Guardian gear that I have. Hey guys, it's future me again. I just want to let you guys know, when I'm talking about the Guardian gear, I'm talking about PvE. Right before a boss fight, you're gonna want to have it on, and then immediately take it off after activating Bloodlust and Fiery Rage. I just wanted to clarify that. So see you guys. Now this is for more min-maxing. This isn't used during a fight. This is used right before the fight. And you only want the weapon, the gloves, and the chest piece. You don't really need the boots. What you're gonna want is 2 energetic etchings, tier 3 to tier 4 on your weapon and gloves. As for the rolls, you're gonna want cooldowns, and attack speed for the first 3 rolls on your weapon. That's going to decrease the cooldown of Fiery Rage and Bloodlust after you pop them. And then gloves are just going to be the same. And then you're going to want increased duration of Flurry of Blows effect on your chest piece, because after you activate it, you switch over. The set effects for all of these equipment are actually going to stay active because you activated the skill with them on. So as soon as you get into the boss room, don't get hit, because you cannot change equipment while in combat. So don't get hit. Pop Fiery Rage and Bloodlust, and then switch back to your original set, and it will actually decrease the cooldown from Fiery Rage and Bloodlust immensely, and it'll increase the duration of Flurry of Blows immensely as well. That's about it, guys. Sorry for missing it, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was really helpful to you guys. And like I said, if I missed anything, make sure to tell me in the comments. If you guys have any questions, make sure to ask in the comments. I'll be willing to answer them right away. And if you guys are an MT, come add me, SATZ. We can run together. I can help you out with dungeons if you like, anything. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to turn on the bell to see my content daily. Peace.